Hello, everybody. Today we are going to talk to Susanne Mariga, and she is a CPA out of Houston, Texas. And we are going to talk about one of my favorite subjects for entrepreneurs, and that is profit first. If you haven't heard of Profit First, it's a book by Mike Michalowicz, who is also author of several other books, including Fix This Next and The Pumpkin Plan. And what does profit first look like in the life of an entrepreneur? We're going to explore that today and how you can have just a better handle of your finances and create legacy wealth for you and your family. So, welcome, Suzanne.
Hi, Kiva. Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'm so excited that you are here. So, let's dive in. What is Profit First?
Oh, wow. Profit First is an amazing cash management system. And I'm going to go ahead and say that cash management system, not accounting system. I get so many entrepreneurs that come to me and are like, I want to do that cash management or that Profit First accounting system. I'm like, no, no, no. It's a cash management system. It's simply there to create behaviors that really make you profitable, right? And Profit First really is about aligning, right, what your intentions are, what winning looks like before you even began in order to create that lifestyle that you ultimately want, right? Because at the end of the day, our businesses need to service, right? They need to service and they need to produce the outcome. And so instead of, the traditional accounting equation where you pay your expenses first, right? Revenue minus expenses equals profit, you pay your profit first. So revenue minus profit
Yes.
equals expenses. Pay your profit first, make sure your business is working for you and making sure that your intentions align with your behavior to produce the results that you really want.
Oh, thank you for that. I think there was two key things in their behavior. I hear that so often. It's like, if can I just automate the taking out of the percentages, or can I just automate that? Do you think that with Profit First we should automate, or is it really about that training of ourselves?
I think it's a combination of both, right? It's an automated behavior, right? Because if you do it enough, it's repetitive.
Mm,
And when you have a repetitive behavior, it becomes a habit, right? And so literally it becomes something that you build wealth slowly over time, right? No one becomes a millionaire overnight. It's done by very small steps, one step at a time. And how Profit First works is literally create separate bank accounts depending on our purpose, right? So we have, a revenue account where all the money goes into this account. We have a profit account. We have a where we're putting our profit at. We're paying our profit first. We have a tax account because, when you make some money, tax man is going to come after you, right? And so you got to have a reserve for taxes. We have an owner's pay account because as an owner, you are your MVP. You're your most valued player. And I can't tell you how many times I meet business owners and I'm like, so how much do you pay yourself? And they're like, whatever's left over, I pay myself. I'm like, all right, you're your MVP. If you go out, if you're the quarterback and you leave, then there is no business. You need to pay yourself. And you need to pay yourself because sometimes we don't have control over when we go out of the game, right? Your back goes out, you catch COVID-19, and you need to be able to pay a replacement. And that owner's pay account, by setting that up to pay the MVP, even if you step out, you're able to pay that person that's going to replace you. And finally, your operating expense account. And so literally what happens in Profit First is twice a month, as money's coming in throughout the month into our revenue account, we're transferring to our profit account first, then our tax account and our owner's pay account. And then what is left over goes towards your operating expenses. And so we're really using what we call Parkinson's Law. And Parkinson's Law means that, as human beings, Kiva, we are so efficient, right? When we use whatever is given to us, right? If you give me a full plate of
exactly.
food, I'm gonna eat a full plate of food. You give me an order plate, I'm gonna finish that up too. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what Profit First is we're creating small plates in order to control our spend, right? So we only have a limited amount that's going into our operating expense account. Then, I'm gonna have to make some different decisions. I'm gonna have to go, do I
Right.
really want to sign that 5-year lease that's like bigger than a space that I really need right now for 5 years and stretch it out and maybe struggle for the first year and knowing that my sales are going to miraculously increase, or do I want to spend on that new technology, that new computer? Does it really have an ROI, a return on investment? So I'm going to have to make decisions like that.
Oh, wow. That is so enlightening. Those making those database decisions when it's like, no, we're not actually paying out everything that we've decided to purchase. We're going to make sure that we've taken care of the taxes, we've taken care of ourselves. And then this is what we're operating our business off of. Thank you so much. So tell us, why did you decide to open up your own business?
My practice is about 13 years old, and I started out my career working for Arthur Anderson in Chicago, and then later I went to KPMG, and then did a little bit of work in the industry. And you know, right around the time that I had my daughter, and, I always laugh because my daughter's the same age as the business, right? And I said, you know what? I really want to be the kind of mom that's present for my child. And at the time that I was a manager, and I was responsible at the company for the Canadian operations. And so literally I was flying every single week from Houston to Toronto every single week.
Wow.
And it got to the point that I was like 7, 8 months pregnant. And when you fly from Houston to Toronto, they have enough flights that eventually you're gonna get on what I call propeller jet. These are those teeny weeny planes that have like the one seat on one side, the two on the other, and you're like fighting for the one side one and just hoping that your ticket gets lucky. And I was on this one side of the plane, and I was like, I wasn't cute pregnant, I wasn't like the pointy pregnant that a lot of people are. I was a wide pregnant. I could barely fit in the seat. Like literally, I had to tuck my belly in order to fit in the seat and close the seat belt. Okay. And it really hit me that my life was going to change. It was going to change, and it was going to change in a matter of months, because I probably wasn't even allowed to
Right.
be on that plane being in that third trimester. And but nobody asked. Nobody ever asked, how pregnant are you? They're like, maybe she's
No,
just
they
having
don't.
twins and she's just 3 months. But and so, I knew my life was going to change, and I knew I wanted to be present for my daughter. So I started my own firm. And it's interesting because the story was, when I had my daughter, I thought that, I would just take on a few clients and play with Florence, my daughter, we just have a lot of fun together. And we immediately took off. Like we were getting government contracts, major government contracts. We were getting small business clients, and we were really growing fast. But my strategy of entering the market was to really lowball my competitors, right? And what I found was that I was working and working and working, but I was having nothing to show for it. In fact, I was
Mm.
working harder for myself than I did in my corporate job. And a lot of your audience probably resonates with that feeling too, of having been there.